Agashe.
아저씨 이게 뭐야? Hi everybody, Agashe here. So, Hua Jai Sila has finally come to an end with a total of 27 episodes, and I reviewed the first 4 episodes with you guys. And as I said before, it was actually one of my favorite Thai drama when I was young. So I think it's the 2007 one. It was the first one started in 2007, and yeah, like years later they finally remade it the 2019 version. And I was going to be comparing in the first review. I compared the old version and the new version to see how it turns out, if the story matches up and all sorts of things. And it's in the first 4 episodes it did match up, and so I was really excited for it, continue watching it, and it comes to an end now. So I will be reviewing it from episode 5 to 27 with you guys, and to see how this version turned out compared to the old version. So where I left you off, Minta and Sila has already met, and she is sure that he is thought from the little boy from when they were young. And so she tries to do whatever it takes to pretty much prove it that it's him. And in the first 4 episodes the characters and everything get introduced, and then starting episode 5 on, that's when Sila actually starts his revenge for his stepbrother A and his stepmother Sida. So we continue off with I have my notes here. I have a lot of dramas to watch, so I have to really keep track of my notes and everything like that. So episode 5, we start off with the same thing as the old version, where Sila lures A into the casino. He finds out that A has this addicting to gambling, and he lost a lot of money. So Sila offers him money so that he can continue to gamble and lose money to Sila and stuff like that. So he continues doing that. So with luring A into the casino and everything, it's the same like the old one. Sila uses his friend, I think her name was Rasami, to go and like seduce him, keep an eye on him, so that she can keep A to the side and keep making him lose money, and also at the same time keep having him loan out money so that he gets into this really bad situation. And then Sila goes and start getting at Min Kwang, and he starts like pretty much getting her really into her. Like in the beginning she plays really hard to get, but he's actually getting into her, and then he starts turning things between 2 sisters. So Min Kwang is turning on Minta and being mean to her, thinking that all she wants is like Sila, she wants it all to herself because Sila is rich, and Min Kwang's like, she plays it where she doesn't want him, but she truly likes him and she wants him. This one is a little bit different about their father. Their father is like he has Alzheimer in this one, as in the old one he doesn't. In the old one, Minta's parents don't really get involved as much, her stepmom and her dad. In this one, her father plays a bigger role in here. He does gets involved a lot. He does love Minta, and so he does help her a lot. So you do get to see the involvement of her father in this one. So roughly around episode 5 to 8 there, Sila starts buying a bunch of crap for Min Kwang, and for what I remember in the older version, he doesn't. He does spend a lot for her, but in this one, he also spends more for her. Like, as you guys can tell, from 2007 to 2019, technology and everything is different. So back then, like, he buys her a cell phone. This one, he buys her like clothes, perfume, a car, like more luxury things as compared to the old one. In the old one, she gets so excited, she takes it, she falls immediately like that for him. In this one, she plays hard to get, even though she's like, oh, I don't like it, but she is extremely happy and she is extremely like, oh, this guy really likes me, you know. So he finally like, oh, she caught the bait, you know. But then Minta gets in the way, and then he needs her to be out of the way because she wants to reveal that he has stalled the little boy, and like he doesn't want that for her to reveal it, because if she reveals it, all his plan and everything that he's been setting up for his revenge is kind of pointless, you know. So he makes her get really upset at him, so she doesn't want anything to do with him anymore. So by the time we hit episode 9 to 12 there, we get a lot of involvement of Aunt Mam, which is Sila's aunt who took him in and everything like that. She was a friend of Sila's mom. So she has an affair with Sida's friend, and Sida's friend is Wang, and Aunt Man has an affair with him, and like they start to, this is when you get to see the side of Sida, of how evil she is. She would pretty much torture Mam and all these things, calling her she's just a prostitute because that's what her company is. She runs some sort like that, and like basically between Sida, Juan, and Aunt Man, like these three of them, it's like the whole point is another woman goes and steal a man who has a wife and a family already. This for leading the wife to hate the woman who is stealing her husband away from her, seeking for revenge, or torturing them. Like it's the same thing with it all brings back to the core of Sila and his mom, how his mom was second and she came and she has Sila and she gets tortured and stuff like that. And then the same thing with Minta too. Minta is the mistress daughter, you know, and so she's constantly getting tortured and stuff like that. So, you know, it's like you get to see it that like Minta and Sila is like this, but it's like to the end, it's like, did you not learn that your nephew goes through that? Are you gonna continue that too? I don't know. But I don't really remember if in the older version if the aunt actually like was dating, like having an affair with like a guy who was already married or something like that. I don't know. One thing I really do enjoy about this is leading up to episode 12 is that it's really different from the older version. Is this one Sila actually gets to witness and see Min Kwang and her mother torturing Minta. So he actually gets to see and he actually feels her pain of being the mistress child and getting tortured and all that stuff like that. So we get to see him constantly secretly visiting her on the side, caring for her on the side, and all this stuff like that. As for the old one, he knows it, but it doesn't seem like he has pumped up anger about it, you know. So this one we actually get to see a little bit side of Sila actually have a soft spot for Minta. And then we flash back to A. He gets so addicted into the gambling and he loses money. And this is when like Sila already conquered Min Kwang to like him, and he already kind of like pushed Minta out of the way. Now he goes back and focus on A. A has lost a lot of money into gambling and he is extremely addicted now, but he has no money left. Sila becomes a person where he's going to loan him money, and as long as he wins, he can make payments, he can give it back and all this stuff like that. So Sila is like really torturing A to the point where he doesn't know that he is in a lot of debt to Sila, because Sila has so much money, and you know, he's pretty much, I was reading comments like Sila is like an extreme big pimp in this version. So he has extremely a lot of money and he just continues to give it to A so that, and then keep track of it that A owes him this much so that he can get A back like for the future of it. So you guys remember in the old one, we get the resort scene where Min Kwang pushes Minta off the bridge and Sila saves her. We get the same thing in this one too, and it's the same thing. Both sisters meet up and they get into an argument. The sister Min Kwang pushes Minta off and Sila jumps and saves her and all these stuff like that. And like, you know, Min Kwang is just so desperate for like Sila that like she makes up all these lies and she does all these things, and she would tell like Sila that you know that so many guys are after me and they throw themselves after me, they throw their money at me, they do all these things and I don't like them. I like you. I'm willing to throw myself at you. So it's really honestly to me it's really different. Like in the older version she does throw herself at him, but she doesn't play hard to get. Like she seems like extremely stupid in the old one. As for this one, like she seems more of a beep than stupid. So she and like a slut type of way, you know. So she's constantly throwing herself at Sila, but you know, in a way he can't take it because she keeps hurting Minta, but at the same time it's kind of working for Sila because he actually needs Minta out of the picture. So he does continue to break her heart and he does continue to lie to her so that she can stay out of the picture, so that he can get his revenge and pretty much fix things for the two of them. Because you gotta remember, the two of them, they have similarities as children, or pretty much their life of being second and getting tortured a lot. So episode 13 to 17 there, we do get the scene of Min Kwon and Sila does end up sleeping together, like how in the older version. And then he reveals to her, this one he reveals sooner to her who he is. And he tells her that, you know, I'm the little boy, the thought from little, you know. I'm the orphan dog you used to call, because that's what they used to call him. And she is gross and disgusted by it. And like this is when she finally like shuts out the world and keeps quiet. So this is from this on, Min Kwon doesn't interfere with anything anymore. It's just like she's gone, she's out of the picture. And then we jump into A now. So this is when A really kicks in a lot, his character, and leading it to his mother. So because he gets tricked so much by Sila, and he's in so much debt and all this stuff like that, that like he ends up signing over his property to him and the company, his share of the company to Sila, because he has no money anymore to pay Sila. Like he's out of money, so he started stealing his mom's jewelry and selling it, giving it to Sila. He started, you know, stealing all this stuff from home. He gave up because he's like, pretty much A is the only child, so he has everything he's inheriting everything, so he gave it all up for Sila. So Sila has everything basically by this point now. And then in the meantime, we get Sida. She does get to Ant-Man, and like they do find out that she has been dating her friend Wang's husband, all stuff like that. And so they torture Ant-Man to the point where she ends up in the hospital. This really upsets Sila, and he is willing to take over the next steps to getting revenge. So he popped up at Sida's company and said, I'm the new shareholder, so this is I'm now the major shareholder, so this is my company. Which gets Sida so upset, and he comes and take over the house and all these stuff like that, and it upsets Sida so much. But A is lying that like, you know, Sila took everything from me, he forced me and stuff like that. So Sida does not have any idea about A's like gambling and all these stuff like that. He puts the blame on like everything, like the mom's Sida, her jewelries went missing. A lied that it was the housekeeper's niece who took it and all these sorts of things, you know. And so it's getting really crazy with Sila wanting to seek revenge. So Ant-Man, this is when she seeked out for Minta to actually stop Sila from getting revenge, because it doesn't matter, he's not gonna be able to do anything, and he wants to make them suffer more, but he's just gonna hurt himself in the process. And in doing so, we get to see a couple romance between them now, since with Min Kwon out of the way. This is when their love starts to actually spark. As if in the old one, like she just pushes him away and she's not with him at all. So we barely get to see any love spark between the two of them. So for episode 18 to 20 right there, Sila has seeked out a lot of revenge because they hurt Ant-Man, and like he goes on with other plans and all this stuff like that. And it got Sida to be like, you know, I'm not gonna lose to this pimp, they call him that. I'm not going to lose to this pimp, so I'm going to take it to another level before he even execute his plan. So she ends up bombing Sila. So she placed a bomb for him, and I think it's at his company or something like that. And then he just when everybody thought he was dead, he is not dead. He makes it out alive, and he has a couple injuries. He just needs to rest for a while. So from here on out, he's actually hiding. He's actually hiding without them knowing. So yeah, like this scene doesn't happen in the old one. Like there's no bombing. Like honestly, Sida is not as evil in the old one compared to this one. This one, Sida is extremely evil. So her and Sila like bumps head. And here's the confusing thing: it's Sida is the stepmom, Sila is our main guy. So their names are all similar. So in episode 19, Ant-Man actually dies. She gets into a fight with Sida because Sida planted a bomb on Sila, and she just wanted to get proof and evidence to just put Sida in jail for doing it, being the one behind the bombing. And then Ant-Man gets shot, and her whole building gets lit on fire. She dies. It's just like the older version. She dies, and like they keep it from Sila, but Sila finds out about it, and he's really hurt. And going through the death of Ant-Man is when it actually brings Sila and Mintha closer to each other, and their love like starts to build up here. He's more caring of her. He becomes who he is rather than a jerk like how he was before. And as compared to the older version, she's constantly rejecting him all the way until the end and all these stuff like that. And like it's just really frustrating. In the old one, like she just keeps rejecting him, so there's like no love spark between them. This one, they actually gave us love spark starting from 19 on, the two of them being together, and their love like really sparks. He's pretty much admitting who he is to her, that he's the little boy and all this stuff like that. And they start to she takes care of him, they care for each other and all this stuff like that. And then we do get Sila's father actually coming into play now for the last couple of episodes. In the old one, we don't really see him until the end, when both the sons, like A and Sila, does get into like huge fight, is when the father does come into the picture. But now the father comes in, and he knows that Sila is his son, and he asks Sila to don't take revenge, cool it down, and I will do this because I will put an end to it. Even if my wife and son are the ones who are wrong, I'm not going to fight for them. I'm going to do justice, the right thing. And so we move on to episode 21 and 24, and Sila had actually recover, and he came back, and now everybody knows that he's alive. And so he comes back, he finds all these evidence, and he was able to get evidence that Sida was with Ant-Man that night, and she was the one who shot Ant-Man and put up the fire. So when Sila was able to put Sida in jail, moving on, he goes and prove it to Min Kwang that he's alive, and now he has nothing to do with her anymore, and he's gonna come take Mintha with him. He had already gotten permission from the father to marry her. The father has given permission, hand in marriage of Mintha to Sila. So they get married, like pretty much the dad witnesses them and everything like that. It's not really married, it's more like an engagement, agreeing that the father agreed, giving his blessing and stuff like that. So the father tells Sila that to take care of Mintha from now on, because she's always getting tortured. She's always suffering from her older sister and her stepmom. And it's really cute. We don't get to see any of this in the old one. So this is like totally new scenes that they throw in here. Sila ends up getting his mother's wedding ring to Mintha, and so they end up living together. She moves in, happy couple, happy moment, and all this stuff like that before all the fights come. In this one, we do get them having a bed scene, all stuff like that, but it's more romantic and everything like that, willing. As in the old one, he forces her, and like no love, she still hates him in the old one. So yeah, as you can tell, they don't like it in modern stuff, and it's different now, so they do make some changes. So we do get to see, now that they are engaged and everything, we do get to see them together, more loving, and he cares for her, and that kind of leads to a bad thing because she becomes his weakness. So for the last couple episodes 25 to 27 when I said Sila's weakness is Minta. Sida actually gets out of jail and she finds out that Minta is his weakness. They captured her, lure him in. But at the same time, Sila goes, I know who what Sida's weakness is. It's her son, A. So it's kind of like this trade-off of like, let him go and I'll give you this and all this stuff like that. So they get into this trading off their people, and in the process of doing so, Sida tries to kill Sila, but she ends up shooting A because A was getting into a fight with Sila. So with A's death upsets Sida extremely. Like she gets extremely angry and she does whatever it takes to kill Sila. And in the process of doing so, she ends up shooting Minta. If any of that makes sense. So A and Sila was fighting. Sida shoots A. She angry. She gonna shoot Sila. She ends up shooting Minta. So yeah, each other's weakness and stuff like that. So stupid police as always. They end up not catching Sida. She escapes, but in the process of it, Minta is in surgery, and like they're extremely worried if she's not gonna make it. She does, she does make it, and all this stuff like that. And they find out that Min Kwon was actually kind of like behind some of these stuff too. So Min Kwon ends up going to jail, but unlike the old one, she repels and she sees that she's been bad and she asks for forgiveness and she apologizes to her parents and she's willingly to go to jail to serve her service and stuff like that. So we get to see a little good side of her, as in the old one, like we don't get to see anything good from her. So Minta gets better and she's still in the hospital recovering, and in doing so, Sila doesn't pretty much tell her, but Sila ends up going on his. No, in a way, he doesn't seek for revenge anymore. He's kind of like, I think he's more so he's seeing the point that like he's not gonna seek for revenge anymore because he's just gonna cause more people around him to die. But Sida still hasn't given up, so she comes back for revenge for Sila and she tries to kill him. And in doing so, they get one last fight and she handcuffs them and she's gonna burn the two of them alive. Like she already spilled oil on him and everything, and she handcuffs the two of them and she's gonna burn them. But Sila gets away and she ends up burning herself, and she ends up in the hospital trying to get recovery. And so they repel and all stuff like that. Things work out, and pretty much it's the end of it for Sida. It's karma. Like Thai people, they always say karma. This is what she gets because she's always been evil and stuff like that. So her karma, that's her karma, and she's gonna have to try to recover from it. And then his father gets better and everything like that. His father gets into this accident, so he ends up in the hospital, but he gets better. And then they have Aunt Man's funeral, and then it comes to an end of that, and things goes well, and Sila and Minta finally gets married. So we kind of get some time has passed and stuff like that. And then Min Kwon is back and she patches things up with her sisters, so we get to see a very good side of her, and she turns good. And then the wedding, oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. Minta has such beautiful, her dress was so beautiful, it was so pretty. Anyway, so yeah, they had a beautiful wedding. They did an adorable dance together and all stuff like that. And she does become pregnant afterwards, and he gets the morning sickness instead of she does, and they live happily ever after and all this stuff like that. So as compared to the old one, I really actually like this version better. The old one, I'm pretty much just for the main guy. I liked him and all this stuff like that, his character and stuff like that. But I was honestly, in the old one, it was really frustrating with Minta. She was just honestly stupid, so stupid. Like my boo said, so stupid. She was just stupid. She has no showing that she loves him or she cares for him when he pushes her away and he doesn't want her anymore. It was just to protect her. She took it that he doesn't care for her anymore, so it got really stupid. And then even when she got preggo, she lied that it wasn't his, she lied that it was her friends and all stuff like that. And just when they're about to die, she go, it's yours. So but yeah, one thing I do like about the ending of this one, it's not like the old one. The old one, they made it more where A is evil instead of Sida. And this one, they changed it So like in the old one, it's a fight between the brothers of Sila and A, and they get into a fight, and Sila gets shot. He gets thrown into the water, and his body is not found. A he does get killed, and he dies and all stuff like that. But Mienta gets a miscarriage in the process of it, you know, and then she's sad. She's left with nothing, and then she realized her love for Sila. Yeah. And then, you know, he comes back alive, and they live happily ever after. And then they show an epilogue how he survived. He was stuck to the boat's anchor, and so the boat was actually dragging him in the water, so that's how he survived. So for this one, it's like nothing like that. We get a happy ending and everything. So I actually really do like this one a lot. They did make a lot of changes as the old one compared to the new one and stuff like that. So a lot of changes they've done and everything. But overall, it was really good. It got really good ratings, and people are like loving it and all this stuff like that. Like my sister didn't watch it, and then I was excited to watch it because, you know, it's a classic for me. It's Hua Jai Sila. I liked the first one. I was going to give the remake a second chance, you know. It's just like the whole Meet and Garden and everything, how I watch all of it, you know, every freaking different version. And so I watched it, and then I told her to watch it, and she watched it. But so far, it's actually really good. I really like this version more than the 27 one. So yeah, let's see. I think that is it. Yeah, so that's overall the recap of the remaining parts of the dramas and everything. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. If you guys have not seen it, do go check it out. It is, yes, 27 episodes. It's a lot, but it's really good, and just you pretty much just gonna have to suck it up for the first 12 episodes. It gets better after that. So pretty much after episode 12 is when the new changes gets kicked in and everything. So it's not like the old version anymore. So that's when it actually gets good and everything like that. So but yeah, that is it for this review recap for Hua Jai Sila. And let's see if there's a new Thai drama that I will be watching. Nowadays, Thai drama, My Love from Another Star, is coming out, so finally, so I will be watching that with Agashe, and yeah, we will review that. But yes, that is it for today, and I will see you guys in the next drama review.